Habitat for Humanity is well known on the national scene for its efforts to provide housing for families in need. Well, this summer, the local branch of Habitat is seeing a resurgence in the region. Last month, a new Habitat home was dedicated in Superior, and meanwhile, a Duluth house is nearing dedication and another project is underway. Joining us to share news about the rebirth is David Klana, Executive Director of the Western Lake Superior Habitat for Humanity, and Chase Bement is the Construction Manager for Habitat for Humanity. And thanks to both of you for being here. Really appreciate it.
Thank you. Thanks for having us.
David, a lot going on this summer, and I understand it's something of a rebirth for the organization. What's going on?
I think we're just finding traction in terms of how to serve a four-county area. I mean, our territory extends all the way from Silver Bay down to Carlton, Cloquet, into Douglas County, Wisconsin. And we have two program areas, and we're figuring out how to deliver services in each of these counties in a way that is manageable, but is starting to scale up.
Mm-hmm. Was there a little bit of a lull in terms of houses being constructed in this region?
There had been. Really starting in the mid-2000s, the organization hit some bumpy roads and tried some various things, had a fair amount of staff turnover. And then went through mergers. There were 4 county organizations, and they all merged over the last 12 years. And I think the best thing about the merger is we now have sort of a scale, a size of service area where habitats become like, Mr. Burgess was just on with National Bank of Commerce. Things have gotten more complicated in building homes and banking. And so you need scale in order to effectively deliver services.
Chase, how do you get volunteers to help you build?
Well, we actually, that's actually one of our trickiest spots we can do, is we have to do a call out for everybody. We have a volunteer coordinator that's actually her job is to find everybody. But really it's word of mouth. That's what we want the community, everyone just speaking about it. Mm-hmm. And that's how they give us a call and ask how to volunteer with us.
So oftentimes they come knocking on your door.
There is times, that they do come knocking on our door, and then there's times that we come knocking on their door. So,
Are there specific skills that you're looking for in your volunteers, or is there really kind of a place for everybody?
There's a place for everybody. My job is also to pair the right person with the right job, so everyone leaves knowing that they contributed in a way and they felt like they succeeded. So if you're not quite familiar or comfortable with the saw, maybe painting, like I always promote safety is the best thing on a job site. So even cleaning up on the site while everybody's working, it's huge helpful.
Yes, and I mean we're not just a construction company. We're a mortgage origination company. We are a bit of a social work agency. So, for example, I just recently recruited a volunteer who's going to help us with family selection and communicating with families that are interested in being partners with us in our programs.
David, do you rehabilitate older homes, or do you always build new?
We selectively will look at rehabilitating older homes. It's got to be cost effective. We are very committed to high energy performance in our homes. In fact, the house we're dedicating soon in Lincoln Park has been a partnership with Minnesota Power. And we find that oftentimes building new, we can get better results for less money than rehabilitating a house. So if we are looking at rehabilitating a house, we bring in some outside consultation to help us assess the structure and whether it can be a good investment.
Regardless of whether it's new or a rehabilitation, I imagine there are some professionals on site helping the volunteers to guide them in the right direction?
We do. We actually, so I always like to say is we start with the professionals, they get us going, and then the volunteers can really put on the finishing touches. So a lot of our partners we partner with is for the training program, like the Union Carpenters or the IBEW. Our last house that we actually just finished that we're going to be on in Lincoln Park is actually a partnership with Lake Superior College. So their carpentry program actually built every little part of this house. Yeah. So it's a phenomenal home, and we use a lot of local manufacturers. So Walsh Windows went into that, and LP Smart set up in Two Harbors donated the material for that.
Nice.
So it is. There was a lot of community that was involved and a lot of professionals that came in and kind of helped move this project along.
Chase, sweat equity is a part of this too. He or she who perhaps is going to be living in this home has to also work to build the home. Is that correct?
Yeah, that's correct. We get them going, whether it's their family members or friends, and we have them come out with the volunteers and just help out. Sometimes it's painting, cleaning. Even if they can't do that, if they want to help with sandwiches or beverages or any kind of help in our organization, that works. So.
Really, the sweat equity is the heart of the model. These homes wouldn't get built otherwise because the families don't have the financial resources for the conventional market. But by engaging the families and community members who are also contributing sweat equity and engaging partners like some of the local vendors, we put together the pieces of a project and are able to build it in a way that's cost effective and below market cost.
Mm-hmm. Besides the willingness to invest that sweat equity, what are some of the other qualifiers for families who might want to get one of these homes? How are they selected?
Sure. Well, they have to have a need for housing, so something about their current housing situation needs to be inadequate or insufficient. They need, probably the most important thing I would say is they need to have a real strong desire and understanding of what partnership's all about. The family of all the participants works the hardest, and if they aren't willing to learn new things, have new experiences, step out of their comfort zone, it just won't happen. So that desire to partner is really, really important.
So do people apply with the organization then to become a potential owner of one of these homes?
Yes, we have an application process. We have a committee that reviews the applications, interviews the families, and looks at what the family presents relative to a set of objective criteria. So, we have to be a fair lender. We have to comply with all the mortgage origination laws in the 2 states where we work, as well as the federal regulations.
Mm-hmm. At the end of the day, it's all about the people. Have you seen lives change because of this program and the work that you're doing?
Where do we start? I mean, there have been so many. We were up in Silver Bay doing age-in-place repair projects a few weeks ago, and one of the folks we worked with, they'd retired to the community. They'd bought this house that had siding with thick layers of paint, but underneath it was this beautiful cedar siding. The husband had started working on it. He passed away last fall, and there she is sitting midstream with this project, with also some access issues, the front and rear entryways to the house. And so we were there working with her, the community, the churches, and we got that house totally finished with the painting and staining, new entryway areas, and there were tears in her eyes more than a few times, and I will say there were tears in my eyes a few times too, because my life was being changed through that experience as much as hers was.
What about you?
I think for me personally, when I joined the organization, seeing the families and seeing them light up, I mean, they go from, not really seeing a structure, and then all of a sudden the house comes up, the walls come up, the color, their kind of dream is actually coming true that they're going to be homeowners. And I mean, the kids get excited. They all, every kid wants to go paint their own bedroom, and mom and dad just couldn't get in there soon enough. I love that. I think that's the best part about it, is the excitement on the kids' face.
David, can a homeowner eventually sell the house?
Yes, they can, and that is, their prerogative. There's not a lot of incentive to do it because they have an affordable mortgage that's based on their income and their ability to pay. So we cap their housing costs, their mortgage, their insurance, their property taxes at 30% of their income. And we also currently don't charge interest. So
a strong incentive to stay.
A strong incentive to stay. And in some cases, if the value of the house, which is set by the appraisal process, is above what the family can pay, we put a second mortgage into place to protect the equity. But that stays in effect for the life of the first loan. So it's not like they can capture that equity quickly. They have to work the program.
And you have another home dedication coming up?
Yes, the house that you showed some shots just right now in Lincoln Park is going to be dedicated on Sunday, August 11th at 2 p.m. Anybody in the community is welcome to come and join us for that celebration. And then we're ramping up a project in Spirit Valley in that neighborhood. Both cities, Duluth and Superior, have been great partners in helping us acquire land. And it's great because not only is the family benefiting, the entire community is benefiting. These are often vacant lots that aren't generating property taxes, and so you build a house and all of a sudden you're looking at about $2,500 a year of taxes supporting our schools, helping to patch potholes, and providing other services for all of us.
All right, well, we're out of time. We'll have some information up on the screen directing people to your website. David, Chase, thanks for coming in, and thanks for the work that you're doing.
Thanks to both of
Appreciate
you.
it.
Thank you
Thank
both.
you.